Today, I'm going to highlight 6 Otter AI features that I love. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Emily. I created Definite Hearing as a way to increase awareness for the deaf and hard of hearing. I'm hard of hearing myself. I wear hearing aids, and I love them so much. I was diagnosed with my hearing loss at birth, and I was fit with my hearing aids at 4 months old. Not these exact hearing aids, obviously. I've had several pairs of hearing aids, but these are my most recent hearing aids. I love them. They are ReSound Enzo 3Ds. What hearing aids do you wear? I would love to hear in the comments below. And if you don't wear hearing aids, what hearing aids does your friend or loved one wear? Do you even know anyone with hearing aids? I would love to hear in the comments below. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more excellent hearing loss related content for you. I hope you stick around to the end of this video because if you do, I am going to share the most surprising feature. So that will be item number 6. Here we go. Let's talk about Otter AI's 6 bells and whistles. I use Otter AI a lot in church, work meetings, and even to transcribe my YouTube videos. I did not know that you could do these things until I started exploring in the app more. I used to just open the app and hit the record button and it just takes off, which is great. That's usually all I need. But the fun fact is, if you want to use Otter AI more as a study tool or a resourceful tool, you can. So item number 1 is you can add photos. You can add photos just simply by going to your transcription, selecting where you want to add the photo, and then selecting the specific icon to add that photo. Here's how you do it. Next, you can highlight text. It is so nice to be able to highlight a key phrase or something that stuck out to you, like when a professor gives an example of cellular regeneration. It's nice to have the term and the definition right there, so you can just highlight it for quick reference. This is how you highlight in Otter AI. Item number 3. This is really important. You can edit the text. You can edit on the fly or you can edit when the transcription is over. But our brains are usually pretty quick and smart, and we can recognize when the artificial intelligence in Otter AI did not quite pick up a word right. Whether it's with words that are spelled the same but used differently or words that just did not come out right. A lot of times in my videos, hearing aids are not pronounced correctly or spelled out correctly in the transcription. It usually comes out as hearing needs. And it's funny because hearing aids and hearing needs are very different. And so hopefully the more that I use Otter AI, the more that it will start to identify the difference of when I am saying hearing aids versus hearing needs. So sometimes the transcription has trouble picking that up. So editing is a very beneficial feature. Here's how you edit. Item number 4, you can create groups. This is especially helpful when you have multiple study buddies or you want to share your notes in class, or maybe you're in a Sunday school and you want to add other people to the conversation so that the transcription can automatically identify their voices and add them as a speaker right away. There are so many different ways to use groups, but ultimately it just makes collaboration easier. It is really simple to create a group. Here's how you do it. Bell and whistle number 5. You can send text or you can export the transcript, either the text or the audio. I love this and I use this a lot. Like I said, I use this to transcribe my YouTube videos. To do this, I simply transcribe whatever I want to transcribe. So for example, for my YouTube videos, I'll hit play on Otter AI and then I'll hit play on my video and it will transcribe it. When I'm done, the transcript has to process. Otter AI likes to double check their work to make sure the words are as accurate as possible. When that checking is done, I can export the transcript and send it to my email. From there, I can upload it to YouTube. Now, I always double check my captions when I import them to YouTube because there are always little mistakes. Some are big, some are little, but I think that it's important to have really accurate transcription, especially when I'm sharing them with all of you. Here is how I send and export my Otter AI transcription text. All right, What do you think about those 5 bells and whistles of Otter AI? Which one would you be most likely to use? I certainly use the export feature the most. I love that. And I will say, this feature is super beneficial if you ever want to collect stories from grandparents or loved ones. When they start talking, just hit record, and then you have their audio and the text of what they said. It's just easy to keep for later. The reason I do that is because I have some grandparents and they're really old and I'm worried they're gonna pass away soon. And so you just kind of get to that point where you're like, wow, I really want Joel and I's children one day to be able to hear their grandparents' voices, to be able to see them. And so whether it's a video recording or an audio recording or even just a transcription, I want that for them because it's like, wow, it's not that long ago that they lived. And so I just want to share those stories to help them remember that like they are from an awesome family and from awesome people and that they aren't the only ones that struggle with things. I think sometimes we forget that everyone struggles with something. Like sometimes we think that we're the only one that struggles with all these problems and that woe is me and all these things. But when we realize that, wait, I'm not the only one. Other people struggle with problems. Other people have similar problems. Like that is one reason I created this channel, because I know I'm not the only person in the world that has hearing loss. Granted, I am the only Emily in the world of myself, like the only version of myself that has hearing loss. So like my experiences are not the same and will never be the same as anyone else's or yours or your loved ones, but I can still relate. Like I understand on a level that other people don't understand. I just think that's important to remember. I think it's important to save stories and it's important to remember that like bad times come, but like good times come too. Anyway, so let's get back to item number 6. This is the last feature, this bell and whistle of Otter AI that I was kind of surprised to find, but as a designer, I love. It is the word cloud. So word clouds are really interesting because what they are is they are visual representations of how often the most common words were said. So Otter AI will take all of the words in your transcript, it will identify the words that were said the most, and then according to those that were said the most, it will make them bigger or smaller. If a word is bigger, it was said more often than words that are smaller. And it gives you an overall like bird's eye view of what was talked about and what the recording theme was. It's really interesting. I think it is kind of a fun visual representation of what was talked about. It can be fun to share, and for teachers, they could use it as lecture representations and notes. But as far as a practical like use for me in my life, I don't use it a lot. It's fun to look at, but I haven't found a practical use for it. So if you can find a really easy everyday practical use for this, I would love to hear in the comments below. So there you have it. There are the 6 little bells and whistles of Otter AI. Which bell and whistle would you be most likely to use? Which one have you not used that you want to use? I would love to hear in the comments below. Otter AI is one of many excellent transcription apps. This is just the one that I use most often. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to making more excellent videos for you. And don't forget to share. The more you share, the more people we help them feel like they're not alone. I'm trying to build this hearing loss community because I feel like it's not talked about a lot. Hearing people generally just know of the deaf community, and they don't realize that there's a lot of gray area in between the hearing and the deaf world. And that is one reason I started this channel. So please, if you don't want to share this video, go find another video to share, but definitely spread the word. There is power in knowing you are not alone. I hope you have an excellent day. As always, stay strong, stay amazing. Bye.